Patrick?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, you guys got to go first.
Okay, we are here today for CR-20221111-A, the State of San Andreas versus Patrick Hayes summary judgment. I am Justice Piper Noel Robinson, and I have Forrest Hawthorne here next to me with the clerk, Daddy Taylor. State, you want to introduce yourselves?
It's Sergeant Detective Deputy Winslow Chase for the LSSD, accompanied by my second chair, Trooper Bran Robinson.
Defense?
I am.
Cannot hear you.
You'll need to raise your voice.
Yeah, I know, but do you want to stand the other side of the barrier?
Oh, he's fine. This is empty.
I mean, he isn't. He needs to go the other side of the barrier.
Sorry.
Mr. Mount, can you please go put a shirt on if you're going to be in here?
No.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to give you contempt.
That's cool.
10K contempt to him. And if you still haven't left, I'll give you a contempt again. Please go put
That's
a shirt on. Okay, since he's refusing to leave, do 20K contempt and 15 months in Bolingbrook, please.
Just know he's very rich and he can afford it.
15 months in Bolingbrook.
You can state, introduce yourself since we cannot hear you.
I said, my name is Reggie Cray. I'm a lawyer with Constantina and Associates, and my second chair is
Robert Ignis.
I'm Patrick Hayes of Gold Gang.
Councillor Ignis, if you could speak up for me, please.
Yeah, I
There's that
didn't
better?
even know he talked. Please make
Apologies,
sure
is
you're
that better?
shouting.
Yeah, for the court record, please ensure that you are using your loudest voice. You know what I mean?
The acoustics got fixed.
Ish. Fixed.
So yell.
Ish.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
File.
So we are here today for summary judgment.
Correct, Your Honor.
So we have 2 warrants and then two other incidences that aren't on the warrants, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
on
2
this.
other incidents. One, the warrant hadn't been written yet, and it was just a criminal use charge, so we figured we can throw it in with this one. We had the evidence uploaded and everything for that, and then we had the incident that Mr. Hayes was apprehended for, which would be the EMS shooting near the airport.
Okay, so judge yourself for the first warrant, ×2 aggravated assault, ×7 assault, 1 government grand larceny, which I believe in the comments you already said you were dropping.
Correct. The government grand larceny and the vandalism of government
Okay.
properties are being dropped.
Okay, so then evading and then heinous clause. Okay. You will have to make an argument for heinous clause. Warrant 2 is aggravated assault. Assault or ×8, evading, vandalism of government property. So that one you're not dropping. You're dropping from the first one.
We're dropping both.
Oh, both. Okay.
Yes.
And then heinous clause. Then the scrapyard shootout is the criminal use firearm, and the airport shooting assault ×2 protected persons. Okay. So to make this a little easier on ourselves, we can go incident by incident. But first, I would like to know if there are any of these that you are just straight out pleading guilty to, so there's no point in arguing them, or are you going to be fighting every charge? So warrant 1 is, how does your client plead?
Yes. You're so quiet.
because I'm just talking normally.
Okay, what's your question?
I said, how are you pleading? Pleading guilty, yeah?
Is this the one?
Oh, Your Honor, if I may, an important note on the judgment sought. We are also seeking Mr. Hayes' DNA due to this nature of everything that has occurred in his warrants, as well as today.
Okay. Oh, also something I forgot to bring up that I bring up with every court case. I do want it just recognized that the second chair, Brand Robinson, is my husband. That does not change how my ruling is or anything like that. But I do try to make it clear and transparent. And if you don't believe that I won't be completely transparent, I've thrown out his cases before, if that helps ease any questions you may have.
The state has no issues with it.
Okay, Justice. So on the as the first warrant as a whole, my client is pleading guilty to everything apart from the heinous clause because he wants
The
like, an
heinous
explanation.
clause will be argued as a separate thing, whether or not we're
Okay.
pushing it for all of it or not. But he's pleading guilty to everything but was dropped.
But the heinous clause. So he's pleading guilty to everything that is on there, but the heinous clause, and that goes for all incidents that have taken place.
So, wait, he's pleading guilty to all charges then? Or just warrant?
No, all charges.
Just for warrant 1 or warrant 1, warrant 2, scrapyard, and the EMS shooting?
The warrant 1, warrant 2, scrapyard shooting,
Okay.
and the EMS.
Okay, so that makes it a little easier. So what this is going to come down to then at this point, arguing whether or not you guys, with heinous clause, whether it should be applied or not applied, and then I will let you guys argue whether or not his DNA should be collected. So let's start with the heinous clause. Since he's already doing all that, so pleading guilty to all of that, so that will just depend on it whether he reaches maximums or not at this point. So state, you will go first. I'll give each chance 2 rebuttals. So state, defense. Sound good?
Yep, sounds fine.
Yep, sounds good, Your Honor. Basically, we're pushing the heinous clause because Mr. Hayes has been a serial offender in assaulting not only police officers, but now also EMS. He also, the criminal use of a firearm was used in a shootout in the scrapyard, which was civilians, but the state recognizes that we don't have enough to push forward assault charges since both sides were claiming self-defense. We're simply seeking that the heinous clause be applied, even though the jail time wouldn't extend past summary judgment maximums. Sorry, never mind. We're seeking that the heinous clause be applied because this does exceed summary judgment maximums.
Okay. I was very confused there for a second. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that many months is over that. Okay. Defense?
The reason my client wants to argue the heinous clause is because both of his, let's say, associates got this dropped, and they had committed the exact same crimes and had the same past as my client does.
To rebut, I will say the 2 he's referencing are Sid Ritchie and Charlie Harrison. Charlie Harrison was sentenced for 400 months and 90,000, which is exceeding the summary judgment maximum, therefore using the heinous clause. And then Sid Ritchie was dropped because the incident was in the cells and was a single warrant, and the trooper involved was not aware that we could use heinous clause to exceed at that time.
And just to rebut back onto that, it was Jason Mount, not Charlie Harrison, from what I've just been told.
Oh, I'll have to find his warrant to see what the comments were on that.
If you could find that real quick.
I found it, and there's no comments as to why it was dropped, but it was a single warrant by itself, so my safe assumption would be that it was the same thing as Sid Ritchie's, where the troopers assumed that the heinous clause could not be applied in the cells.
Okay. I have my notes on that. Next, we'll argue DNA. We'll do the same back, forth, 2 times. State?
Based on the new precedent set at the last, was it like a city council kind of meeting? I'm not sure what we called it. Aggravated assault charges were allowed to be pressed for DNA, and with the nature of how many assaults, especially on officers and Leo, the state holds the position that Mr. Hayes has more than met the burden to have his DNA taken.
Just has everybody had this request? Have they all been required to give across their DNA?
I'm unaware who everybody would be.
So everybody would be the. Let me get the names 1 second. So it would be Sid Ritchie, Charlie Harrison, and Jake and Malk. Have they all been requested to give their DNA?
I'm going to have Bran look up and see if their DNA is on file currently, because I have all his charges in the MDT and don't want to lose that.
Okay.
Okay, Clumsy's not on file. What was that, Shield? Okay, so Harrison has his DNA on file. Does Sid have his on file as well? No. So one of those involved have it on file. I think the state just hadn't pressed at the time.
Okay, so if the state didn't press at the time, is it? I don't see that it's fair that the fact that the state are now pressing it for my client, if they haven't pressed it for two of the other individuals out of the 4.
I guess my only rebut to that is we're starting to crack down on it and pressing now, and your client has also assaulted an EMS, which just adds fuel to the DNA fire.
Yep, so to answer back to that, I 100% understand, obviously, that he's assaulted DMS, but in correlation, that was all involved in some way, shape or form. So if one person's DNA is being requested, then in my eyes, surely all of them should be requested to give DNA, not just Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, I can amend it if the justice want, and we can request their DNA as well, but I just don't see it applicable to here.
I'll leave that up to the justice.
Sorry, I guess I wasn't speaking loudly there. These cases are also seen on an individual basis, so may have been handled by another trooper, officer, or deputy, so we cannot speak to those directly. Therefore, this is its own case, and we are pushing for that based on what we see in this filing.
Okay. I'll give each side a second to just kind of summarize what they're trying to push for this, and then I'll go on the back just to give you a last chance to get your last words out. So, if you have anything else, state.
Just that the state is pushed. Oh, you got something, Bran?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. The state is pressing the heinous clause today because of the egregious amount of assaults that have occurred on mostly officers as well as EMS. And then we believe that this farly exceeds the burden required to request that Mr. Patrick Hayes donate his DNA to the San Andreas state. That's it.
I'm still gonna. Okay, so I'm still gonna push for the fact of the situation with Mr. Hayes' DNA, because obviously I get what Officer Robinson said regarding the incidents that they are dealt with on an incident basis. But if there's an inkling that somebody's going to be filing for DNA, then I agree. I understand and would hope that everybody would sing from the same hymn sheet and everybody would request the DNA for said incident, especially to the scale of this one. So I'm going to push for the fact that I don't think the DNA should be pushed at the minute due to the fact that it's not fair on my client because nobody else's has.
Okay. Well, we will go in our back. In the back. Was Mr. Malk charged?
I need to meditate for 1 minute. Is that okay?
No, he did indeed flee, so you'll have to put out a warrant for that.
Okay, thank you.
Court will be in a brief recess while the
I gotta
judges,
meditate for 1
justices
minute.
discuss their verdict.
Okay. Okay. 15 and 20. Okay, I'm gonna meditate. Or you can put it
Times
to
two for
violating
us.
a
Oh,
court
okay.
order. Yep.
Oh, that too.
What
That's
they
a good
might
one.
do is they might go, okay.
I'm gonna scoot over so it doesn't look like I'm holding your elbow there.
Okay, we'll put a court order out for all of them.
Yeah.
Which is then different. Which, if they
I
do,
didn't hear what he said.
then
Who said?
accepting
Who you
that
said?
is better than.
You okay?
Oh, it looked like I was holding his elbow, so I had to walk away.
I know, I meant the other thing.
Can you guys give us a minute? We're talking.
Oh, sorry.
Clumsy.
If it comes to that,
Jason, no.
don't do that. Just
Oh,
have them subpoena
yeah,
mine,
then you can
and
also
then
put
I'll just fight the
violating a
warrant
court
every
order.
time they arrest me. I don't care. All right, I'm gonna meditate 1 minute.
Maybe he did think so.
Did you get him, Tuttle?
No. Yeah, I don't think that'd be a violating a court order. That's pushing it a bit much. Resisting definitely times 2.
I don't know. What do you guys think? We're gonna get the DNA?
I'm gonna say yes.
Still enjoying the job,
Let's
then?
say yes.
Yeah, it's not bad. You
I
still
think it's
thinking about,
actually over.
what we talked about the other day?
Over 20 assaults and 3 aggravated.
Yeah.
Half a minute, ain't it?
Yeah, we weren't even basing it on anything previous.
Re-envisioned and rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah.
I've got to think in the best interest of everybody.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
I don't know. Hopefully, my last statement there of, each thing is a case-to-case basis, that charges are not always reflective, will be what was needed for that.
Jeez. Radio's kind of going crazy.
Ever since Science Kaya, well said.
Yeah.
I hope you know I still love you.
Of course, you gotta do your job.
Yeah, we both got jobs to do. It's no hard feeling.
Of course. Yes, sir. I'm not gonna
Yeah, I
give
guess
him my
capital
DNA,
fun.
but I will take the warrant for it where they charge me the 5 and 5 every time. Yeah, I'd rather that than get heat on my boys.
Yeah, I hear that.
Cool.
So if they offer the okay, then we'll put a warrant out for your boys. As I now speaking from the last recess, he said you can keep the court and by all means push the court order. In no way, shape or form is he going to refuse it.
Yep,
Yeah.
correct. Yes, sir.
Here we go. At least we're on the same page.
And also for the heinous clause, if kind of like what you said, if one officer does it, shouldn't all of them? Shouldn't there be a uniform?
I mean,
There should
Yep,
be.
someone-
There should, and that's what I'll argue. I'll say, well, okay, I get that. I'm happy if they did it. Shouldn't be, shouldn't that be the standard practice?
Yeah.
If you're going to push heinous clause to one case, all parties in that case
Right.
should be seeking from the same heinous clause.
I agree.
Wait, why would he get shot?
Yep, I
Yep.
agree.
Theirs is straightforward enough. Yours is a bit less due to the fact that it's a competition as well.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good so far. So with the plea deal, how much time and fine do you think we can get off?
That I don't know. But at the minute, the max that they will give you without the plea deal, yeah, is 334 months and 6,500 dollars.
Okay, that's already better than before.
He was at 82 grand in fine. Fine was 33 and 700.
Yeah.
Dropped it like 40 months on full year.
Like 18K.
Like 18 grand.
Well, I
What's
don't
your
see
guys'
anything
pay
crazy
ID
on
before I
Twitter.
forget, so
Oh,
I can have
there's
someone pay you after
a
this?
bunch. It looks like Gold Gang coming in.
I'm 33k.
Maybe they were picking up
And
Mouth.
I'm 5732.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want me to
We don't need any more IE complaints.
message maybe?
Yeah.
I
I don't
thought
have my number though, because my phone battery, you took it. Nope.
Well, that door over there's locked, and I didn't hear a siren, so.
Maybe Dan had it.
Do you want to pay your lawyer or do you need me to pay it?
Yep, there we go.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Ask me what
10-4.
we will text you the pay IDs, then as long as you approve the payment, we will pay. As long as we definitely get paid.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go negative after this for sure, but I'll have my boyfriend pay you. Right, Robert.
Sounds good.
We'll see. I hope that my bit of argument there helped it out. That everything is case
Keep
by
back
case.
up.
I feel like I'm in a bit over my head here. You've just passed your bar. Can you come in and help?
Burden was definitely already
You're a
met.
Yeah, this is my first summary judgment, so I didn't want to do it by myself.
That's fair.
No, I say that, and you've done the right thing. You know, you've
We'll see.
contacted a lawyer because as a paralegal, I don't think you actually owe them any money.
Oh,
Oh, because it's technically a court case.
that makes sense.
Now, had Reggie not been around, I would have done my best.
He's good. That's what he does. But obviously, experience comes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for
I had full trust in you.
just for personal reference, you can theoretically take summary judgments. Obviously, it's preferred that you have a fully fledged lawyer, but in the case that there's not one available,
Yeah.
there's arguments.
There's
to be made.
usually like a special circumstance
Yeah,
situation, isn't there? I was about to start doing your paperwork, and then I got.
And then this
here, so
happened.
I'll
Yeah,
do
no,
it
don't worry.
afterwards,
Look,
yeah.
as long as it
Alright,
gets
dude.
done, it gets done. Why?
What? It will get done. You know that.
Were you
Oh, hey,
not-
Reggie.
Were you not
You just
wearing
passed
shoes
your
when
bar.
you came in?
Yeah.
Got an interesting case you could be interested in.
Fuck's sake. What is it?
Blame Danny. He's trying to find another lawyer for it.
Yeah, it's an appeals case. We'll talk about it afterwards because I've got some other stuff I need to
Yeah.
talk to you about as well.
You've got somewhat to talk to me about. Sorry.
I've got some other stuff I need to talk to you about as well.
Talk to me about.
Yes,
Well,
both of you.
Oh, okay.
But we'll talk after.
Is everything all right? Yeah.
Yeah, everything's all right.
Oh. I'm just.
We'll just go up to my office and we'll have a natter.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page for the case tomorrow, and also that
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about this other case that's come up that I can take, but I'd prefer not to because have you seen the pile of paperwork I've got?
Yes. You've always got a lot, and my desk is also starting to be long.
Yeah, I know.
My desk is starting to go. Put it this way: I passed my bar yesterday, and it was.
And it's already filling up.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
And it's bam, case, bang, case, bang, case. I'm like, whoa. It's because
Listen, it happens.
the number of
Hey,
paralegals
Maggie, the judges are
at the minute,
in their chambers
the
talking about this.
The number of the
sometimes
paralegals
I gotta show you who's
outweigh.
boss.
Oh,
Oakley
just
dokley, are we all ready?
we are ready this side.
State is ready as well.
And the court is ready, Your Honour.
As the defense pleaded guilty to every single charge without a fight, this came down to two topics to be discussed and ruled on: heinous clause and DNA. For the heinous clause, it is an extension of jail time for people who commit serial violent crimes. Looking at his charges altogether, we are looking at 3 ag assaults and 17 normal assaults, not to mention the other crimes. I do believe those charges would fall under the heinous clause, so I will be approving the extension of summary judgment max to allow for the heinous clause to be applied. Now on to DNA. While I was always a stickler on DNA and not approving a lot of the warrants we saw because I felt the burden was too low, we have since gone back and had a town hall type debate where we had changed the burden on DNA gathering. If you'd like more information on that, check out CR-20221111-A.
Is everything all right, Your Honour? Hello? I...
Term of time.
Okay.
And fine. Would you take it down to 60?
What do you think, Bran?
What was the max?
64.5.
Okay, so bringing the fine down to what was it?
So, yeah, okay. Well, let me re-look at that one sec.
Yeah, I will say you brought it down like $4,500 while still taking a lot of time.
Yeah. So, if we do the time at 2:10, so,
Okay.
I am gonna lowball it, but in essence, I'm lowballing it in essence of obviously the amount of time that it took to get to the judgment. You know, the fact that he has pleaded guilty to everything instead of putting up a fight, which he could have done if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just take it down to 50.
Yeah,
So
I'm
210
fine
and
with that. Are you,
50.
Bran?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Is that
with
all right with
210
you,
and
Patrick?
50.
210 and 50 is good.
Patrick?
Do we have Saxy available to come down and get his DNA sample?
He's not going to give you his DNA.
So we will have to.
I mean, Danny's still here, so.
He said under no
I'll have to,
circumstances.
because it would be
is he to give
refusing
the
a
DNA.
court order currently. So I just have to make sure I'm not supposed to charge you for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they.
But as of at the minute, Patrick, do you accept the 210 months and the $50,000 instead of? Yeah, that's fine.
Like, guilty to
Okay.
everything.
Let
So
me
it's
go
just
find.
double checking that
Police
court
really
warrant
just
and
have
the
to
court order, then, isn't it?
Oh, hello. Who's this?
Hawthorne's up the top. Oh,
So I thought
Justice
he
Hawthorne, we may need your help.
approved the highness
Yes.
clause
Oh.
and denied.
He's
the-
refusing his DNA currently, so would we be charging him with violating the court order now?
No, the DNA was approved.
the DNA, everything
Oh.
was approved. Both of them were approved.
Let me get Piper in here.
Okay.
So just double checking whether,
I'm
whether we've
not
got
gonna
do
step
for
on her toes
violating the
before
court
we-
order
Nope,
now,
I understand.
or whether it's the next.
I just want to
instance.
make sure that
Yeah.
since he's
Don't
court
forget to
ordered
take your
now, I don't
shoes.
want to.
It's fuck.
Yeah, don't forget your shoes.
Yeah, don't forget them pearly white vans. Just make sure they don't get stolen, though. Obviously, in Bolingbroke, someone might try and steal them for food or something.
Oh, they should be in like the evidence
She's not
lockup
picking up
until
the
he gets
phone.
out.
Yeah, they should be.
They'll give him like prison shoes.
I was gonna say government issued flip flops.
Yeah, I was gonna say they might look like
Yeah,
the
no.
Vans, but they'll just be like the cheap Payless shoes.
Yeah. Instead of being
I don't
vans, they'll
think
be called
Piper's fake.
bands or something. Yeah,
They're Vens.
Vens. That's the one.
Oh, hey, we need you in the courtroom.
So
I'm
even
not
though
trying to
she
stick you with another charge, I just want to
So
make sure
just
I
double
follow
checking though, after you did have the confirmation that she said it was being ordered, you still wish to refuse the DNA then?
Oh yeah.
When
Okay.
the recess, I'll say it as it is. When the recess happened, he said regardless whether it gets approved, he was going to deny his DNA.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
he
just
made
wanted to
that
make
clear.
sure since he thought it got
Okay.
denied, I wanted to make sure he was aware.
No,
But-
no,
It
no.
was
Yeah,
approved.
he said he was going to deny giving his DNA regardless whether it was approved or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so at that point, you will get a violation of a court order.
Go. We're right back to this. I think I racked up like 50K before. Run it back.
I mean, so you had a DNA request before and you did not.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
the
but-
prior precedents, he had them, and then it was dropped due to the precedent changing. And now he's refusing the current one. And I will have to say anything she adds, I can't adjust, so it'll be on top of whatever we've already discussed.
Let me think. So you've done this before and you have no problem racking up more money. So I'm actually going to set this at $50,000. So every time you deny, it'll be $50,000, and I will allow them, if you keep doing this, to come back and I will give you a higher fine for this. It
Sure,
is a
but not
court
getting my
order.
DNA. Do not care.
I just heard a sigh, so I didn't know if that was you contemplating further, Your Honor, before I move forward.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the justice contemplating further.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your husband, Piper?
Why?
Just curious. I can't remember who you said it was earlier. It just popped up in my head.
Well, you can take a guess which one of the two handsome men next to me I'm married to. Have fun with that one. Anyway.
I mean, I am a handsome man, but no, I'm not married to the justice. Thanks for the compliment, though.
Pardon me?
Dang, don't do Chase like that.
Damn.
I don't want to break you where you can't, like, I don't want to be, like, a cruel tyrant in that aspect, but it is a court order and you need to respect it.
I respect it, but it's also my DNA.
And according to all our stuff in this state, you have done enough to warrant the PD gathering it. I used to be a very big stickler on DNA gathering. I wouldn't even touch the warrants. It pissed a lot of the SAO off because I felt the burden was too low, and I made my voice very clear about it. Once we had that town hall, we raised the burden quite a bit to where it is now. And where I don't necessarily agree at certain points of it, I agree with most of it. So I have to uphold that. That is precedent and laws in the state.
I respect it, and I have the right to deny it. And if you're going to decide to fuck me over and over again because I deny it, that's on you. I just hope you do that to everyone else who denies it as well, ma'am.
That's what we're told to do. Violation of a court order every time you refuse. And because you've done this before and you racked up money, I have to set it at a high amount. So every time will be 50K. And I
So
will
just
allow
know
them.
everyone else has done the same thing. 80% of the criminals here in Los Santos have denied it over and over again. So again, I hope you keep that same attitude when you're going to fuck over everyone else too. That's all I'm asking. Anyways, if that's all.
Can you just make sure that's just noted on the court record?
Which bit? The whole
Just
thing?
the last little bit about him not giving the DNA and all that.
Of course you
So
will.
we're set at 50K, right, Piper? I just want to make sure. Okay.
See you after, Piper.
What?
I said put this on the record too. See you after, Piper.
Is that a threat?
Did I threaten you?
Oh, I'm asking. Is it?
Patrick, just shut up now. Be quiet.
No, all I said is I'll see you after,
Patrick, be
Piper.
quiet. No, seriously, be quiet before you dig yourself an even bigger hole. Just leave it at that. You've said your piece. Be quiet. Let Chase process you and do what else you need to do.
I was about to
One
say,
thing
Just leave it at that.
before.
a request
go
to
ahead.
set up a formal meeting after the fact, or because I can do that.
Patrick,
let's
your
get it.
voice
Yeah,
is a little.
let's get a formal meeting set up after this.
Okay.
With me and Piper.
Piper, this was summary. Do I need to put Reggie down as counsel in the MDT, or is the DOJ handling?
No, we pay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, so we are sentencing you for the 210 months, and we had agreed on 50 before the court order, which would bring it up to $100,000.
Correct.
Okay. Do you need anything before DOC comes and gets you for Bolingbroke?
Just know, Piper, every time a cop gets shot, because I'm avoiding, it's going to be in your hands.
Then just give your DNA over.
Patrick.
Nope, it's my right to deny
Patrick,
that.
Stop now. Stop it. Just be quiet.
Right.
Don't make any
DOC's
more
gonna come
further
get you.
comments. Just
Bye.
let
Bye.
yourself get
Love you.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Love getting
See ya,
quiet.
Piper.
You don't have nothing to do with this.
You can blame Piper.
3383. Justice. 3383.
Okay. There.
3383.
Oh, I
There
don't
you go.
care. I wanted him to hear it.
Thank
I'm tired
you.
of having every other officer getting
Uh-oh.
fucking threats because.
Well,
Yeah, you're gonna
one
make me
person
dinner?
pissed them off.
I feel like I
Because
can't
she's
go
doing her
anywhere
job.
Hell
alone
yeah.
again.
Yep.
I'm fucking sick of it.
You
Piper's
worried?
just doing her job. She gets threat. You know, you and I just got like every single officer is getting threatened now. Like it's fucking
Well,
stupid. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Last time they were upset with a ruling, they permanently made a justice. That's why Forrest has a cane. So yes,
And-
with Gold Gang, I am worried.
Okay.
Just doing my job.
I know. And that take for like 1 second.
It's frustrating.
Reggie,
Uh,
Robert, our meeting can wait. I've got stuff I need to deal with.
Time.
Alright.
No
Dragons
worries, just
is
give me a shout.
arguing.
I emailed
Policies are
Reggie a link to
yourselves.
the case.
And he
Which
may need
one?
help.
yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
big
The
one.
shield one.
Yeah.
Clumsy.
You know,
kid,
the one
just
that I should
pick all
not
this
be a
stuff.
part of.
And make sure
on.
he gets the contempt
Total
of
chase
20,000 and
out.
15 months. Make
That's
sure that
the
is there.
link- That link
Totally
that
would.
you've
But you have dragons. It's his warrant,
sent
so
me
All right.
to, I've already,
I'm gonna go take care of this
I'm
one.
already part of that case.
I'll watch
Oh,
her.
you are?
Yeah, the one that you sent me a link to.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Oh.
How many months did he get
Oh
sent
no, that
for?
was the wrong one.
Can we
Yeah.
go to the back so that we're not interrupting the justice?
Let
Let me pop into that channel.
I think you linked him the
I
wrong
did link
fucking
to that
case.
one and not the other one.
I don't
And
know
I'll
how
fix it.
you've managed that, but yeah.
It's
you
the
sent me a link to
it's the
wrong
two
case.
memento one. I'll give you a link.
There you go.
There we go. I've got it now. Sorry, it it's. sent me
Click
case
the one
me and
beside
you were
it.
Doing tomorrow.
It's a fairly simple cut and dry case. It's literally just where's the intent. That's pretty much the argument.
When is this case?
Whenever the fucking SAO decide to get their arse in gear.
Oh, so it could be a while then.
Could be a while. Well, they've been served. They have time to respond, and if they don't respond in that time, it defaults. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, regarding that case just there. Couple of points you could have argued. Like ag assault does require, you know, medical certificates and everything. So the ag assault on Peter von Karma had no evidence.
No.
Heinous clause. I know what you were trying to say, Reggie. Just for future referencing, heinous clause is it basically applies to the ruling as a whole. Doesn't just apply to one particular instance.
I didn't think it did.
Yeah. What it does is it basically expands the amount of time that can be given under a certain circumstance. In this situation, it's very difficult to like. I get where you're coming from, but in the eyes of the court, every case is different. Because every circumstance is different. I liked your argument. Potential rebuttals you could have given. Them bringing up the assault of the EMS with regards to the DNA, that's null and void. That doesn't matter. That's if you look at the precedent that Piper was talking about, it's ag assault and ag battery that come into that, and that was not aggravated. So basically, if you wanted the DNA off file, get rid of the ag as much as you can. Try and argue it down. Because as soon as it's no longer aggravated, they don't have right to ask for DNA.
Thinking about it now,
It's fine.
Makes sense.
It's fine.
Yeah, like Danny said, ag assault usually ends up in a medical report.
Well, yeah, and there's no medical report for Peter von Karma.
No, if I'd have had a bit more time, then yeah. But I didn't know that. Well, basically, when I got there, Danny.
Yeah.
It was an hour, and I found out it was an hour and a half.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
The justice was called. I found that out when I got there.
Oh fuck.
So
okay.
So I found that out, and I'm like, shit. So I think I just rushed through it. So obviously.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a tactic that they like to push, and it's like, well.
I mean, I'd only been there for like 30 minutes before you got there, so that means they called the justice an hour before I got there.
One of them. Each
yeah, it's one of them.
Is a learning thing. The more you do court, the better you get at it.
The thing with these summary judgments and like snap trials and this, that, and the other, like they're very difficult for us as the defence in a lot of circumstances, just because we don't have the like 12, we don't have 14, 15 people working on the case like PD do. We don't have.
We have one.
We've got two.
3 at a push.
3 at a push, yeah. We've got a lot less time, so focus on what you can get ruled out. Most of the justices will be aware of the fact that, you know, it's 14 against 1 in the majority of circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
But do what you can, you know. But if he said he's pleading guilty to it all, he's pleading guilty to it all.
He'd already said he was pleading guilty. That's why I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
He went,
oh,
yeah, I did it. And he said it loud and proud in front of officers and everybody that he did it. And he did it with intent.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, he did it with intent as well. And
he turned around in the styles and said, yeah, I did it with intent. So I'm like, I can't argue it now down from ag assault for then an officer to come, well, actually, counsel, do you remember when he said this? And I'm like, yeah. So I avoided that situation completely and just let him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other
good?
Yeah. We're just chatting over some details of the case, and then.
So that's why I didn't push it more than anything. Because he literally turned around and went loud and proud, I did it and I'll do it again. So I'm not going to argue the fact that it wasn't aggravated.